What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you a back-to-back gameplay commentary. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to be bringing you similar tanks, or pretty much the exact same tanks, in similar matches in an attempt to really get through these replays. Now, I'm going to try to keep the matches at least commonly themed, but at the same time, we'll see. Now, this is one of my battles. Well, these will be my battles, and I'm in my T71 this time. Driving around, this was back when I was part of Steel Viper's Venom. And a match looking not exactly even. The enemy team does have a considerable a larger number of tier 8s, and that they're super Pershings. And if you don't know the super Pershing, well, it's debatable, but let's put it this way. It occasionally likes to eat rounds from my tier 10 vehicles for no damage. Yeah, its spaced armor is a bit of a problem, to put it mildly. Now, granted, there are weak points on it, and it does tend to take damage. It's pretty slow, and its gun isn't that great. So it has its downsides, but at the same time, it is pretty hard to kill. It's one of the harder to kill medium tanks, although it doesn't drive like a medium, so you know what? That's a discussion for another time. I'm just going to leave it alone for now. And here we go. We see me driving far to the north because I saw those enemy tanks kind of to the south and thought, chances of me getting through that aren't looking that great. So I think I'm going to try my luck up here, and it does look a lot better for me. Going to drive to the very, very far point here, sliding my tank like a pro. I love the scout tanks for that very reason. And seeing quite a bit of the enemy vehicles up here, tier 8s abound. Kind of deciding to back off a little, play in a bit of a more supporting sniping role, which the T71 does pretty, it does it pretty damn well. I'll say that. Most autoloaders do play very well in the scout. I mean, not in a scout capacity, in a sniping capacity, or in a flanking capacity where you can get off all your rounds and retreat quickly. The T71 kind of functions similarly, but it does have a lot of speed. The Tiger P burning alive. There we go. And me doing my best to help out with that T32 and Tiger P, but not really doing much now. The T71 does have a great gun on its turret there. 175 pen. 150 average damage per shot, so 900 average damage per clip. That is if they all do damage. And here we go. Am I typing something, or am I just kind of chilling right now? I was just chilling, relaxing and sitting back and seeing what's going on the map. My team to the south not really doing too hot for themselves, but my northern push it's looking like it's gonna do pretty well. The enemy team pulling ahead. It's to be expected given their tank advantage and the fact that we are the attacking team in an assault game mode. The defending team, again, debatable, but usually defense, if you have smart players, it has a better time of things. Usually the smarter players can win on defense. Not always the case, but, it is, I'd like to say it's more likely than not. The Pershing here making himself a very tempting target for me. The Tiger also within my kill range if I do very well on hits. But Pershing kind of my priority at the moment. 1 and 2 is all it took. There we go. The Tiger definitely within my kill range. The T32 also, but me deciding to reload, saying I don't feel like popping my head back out anytime really soon. And my reload's quick enough to where I'm not all that concerned about it. The Tiger, near death here. I'm going to try to kill him if my team doesn't get to him first, but I won't reload in time. Unfortunately, he gets away. So what do? I think maybe I should go look for something else. Oh, hello, T32. Now, again, I don't have armor, and I'm not meant to fight things head on. And by that, I mean, one-on-one. So the T32 is going to try and turn his gun towards me, or perhaps maybe that medium tank who just shot him before I did. But he will die before he has a chance to do any of that. Here, I'm doing what I think I should do best, which is kind of drive around a bit and take less direct approaches, try and get flanks and circles on these enemy teams. Because driving around and around is just how scouts are meant to be, performed. It's exactly their play style. Now, this T34 to the far south, definitely causing some trouble. I see this super Pershing, and I'm like, no way am I going to try to fight that. There's another one around this corner. But here I kind of assess my situation and say, I think I can blitz this. Really, how bad can it be? I see a 4502 Alpha, which is very, very much a easy kill for me. And I turn this corner seeing that T26 and that AT7, at least I think it's an AT7. I didn't quite catch the name there, but it is the tier 7 British tank destroyer. Now, this 4502 and this low taking on a Tiger 2, our Tiger 2 in a bit of trouble here, but I'm here to kind of, you know, make things a little easier. Tiger 2 getting a shot and kill on that 4502, and the low paying more attention to me, even though I only have one shot left, but, you know, he doesn't know that. Being a valuable distraction to our Tiger 2, allowing him to live and eliminate this low. The 4502 and the low managing to both get themselves killed due to my interference. Now, had that been just those two fighting that King Tiger, yeah, he would have died. And, you know, that's what I try to do, especially as a scout. I try to be that pain in everyone's side. I know people love to kill scouts, especially autoloader scouts. They always aim for 1375s, 12 tons, 1390s, T71s, you name it, they try and shoot it. It's pretty much what it comes down to. People like to kill things that they perceive to be a larger threat, even though, you know, I would consider that King Tiger more of a threat. Now the 4502 Alpha saying, I know, right? And that was in response to me saying, I was a distractions! And I added the S intentionally. Because I like being a little bit ridiculous, but, you know, who doesn't? Here we go. I'm trying to circle around yet again. I realize that King Tiger and T34 a bit too big for me, but I use my camera angle to see neither of them are paying attention to me whatsoever. King Tiger going to be my top priority because I recognize he has stronger armor and a bit more of a overall better performance than the T34, and I'm just talking in terms of tank. The M12, stealing my kill. I light him up. I do so much damage to him. I think the M12 easily should have been aiming for that T34. Maybe he was, and his shot just fell short, but definitely he should have shot that T34 instead of taking what should have been my kill. And that, I would say that probably is a factor here, the T34 living a little longer and managing to do a little more damage to my IS-3 ally. You know, and you'll see why that's important a little later here, but that T34, so tempting to kill, but at the same time, I cannot afford to get shot even once. I am so near death, it is not even funny. That Super Pershing, God knows where he is at this point. And here, I'm just trying to not get myself spotted. I don't want to get too close to that T34 to the point where he knows where I am, and I just want to do my best to get behind him and take him out. IS-3 moving in, apparently having gotten shot by, oh, there's that Super Pershing, and there we go, Super Pershing, at the same time he was spotted by me, this exact same, you know, not a moment later did artillery finish him off. The IS-3 killing that T-34, and all that remains on this enemy team is this GW Panther. Now I have to be careful about this and hopefully not get myself killed by him. I want the IS-3 to stay back. That's exactly what I want him to do, is stay back on the cap. I'll do the job of a scout and I'll go spot and possibly kill artillery. And there we go, artillery spotted. Our arty should have me supported. You know, hope with any luck they'll be able to shoot him. Now, what happens here, artillery does hit him, not directly, but splashes him. But what happened there was I was playing on my laptop, didn't quite see the red lines because they weren't showing up, they weren't rendering, and I kind of hit the invisible wall, unfortunately. GW Panther got off a good shot, took me out, and manages to avoid artillery to, you know, live another day. And apparently he dodged an IS-3 shot there, but he's, the IS-3 getting a little bit offensive here when he should just be focused on the cap thinking, oh, I got this. But honestly, at this point, I would say, yes, it's tempting, but at the same time, you should wait for artillery to come to you. It would force him out into the open, and he can kill you one shot just like you can kill him in one shot. It's not exactly the smartest thing to try and go around a corner where artillery could be waiting like that. Yeah, exactly like that. So IS-3 is dead, a minute 22 seconds remaining, and our artillery's in the field, and their artillery's in the town, and, you know, I'm just going to say I don't finish out this replay, because the, spoiler alert, it draws. No big surprise, right? So I'm going to go on right to my next T71 match here, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this match, and hopefully you'll enjoy the next one. Alright, so here we have game number 2, again in my T71 on the map. If I knew how to say it properly, I would, but I'm just going to call it Fjords. And this time, it is even. The tanks, for the most part, tiers are even, no particular advantage to either team. Same number of tier 8s, which is the most important factor. You got a few tier 7s and some tier 6s in there. And we even get ourselves a nice little Panzer 38 NA Scout, you know, because free kills for the enemy team are awesome. Yeah, the 38 NA and a tier 8 match, not really going to do much. But, you know, he could be valuable in a scouting capacity. When you're that low, you should never really try to kill anything except for maybe artillery, but even then you're probably going to need premium rounds. So, yeah, just do your best to light up things for your team. Keep your team apprised of what's going on elsewhere on the map, because if they're good players of any sort, they'll notice and they'll say, hey, maybe that big enemy force to the south is something we should tackle. You know, but I digress. Right here, the Pershing and a few other enemy tanks will be lit up very shortly. You'll see them not really deciding to go through center right away, just because that's rarely ever a good idea, but again, there's a few of them right there, doing my best to light them up for our team, kind of exposing myself to an extent. As you can tell, that PK3601H trying to get a shot off, but missing horribly, which is exactly the way, I like it. The Tiger 2 pushing to the south, a very common strategy to see, you know, heavier tanks going to the south, which is not usually a good idea. Okay, now this can end horribly for him if our artillery was in the Alpha 5 or Alpha 4 area. You know, artillery to the north can get shots there. But at the same time, ooh, Easy 8 meeting an unfortunate end to artillery right there. T71 getting a little weird in what he's doing. I'm not quite sure exactly what he's trying to accomplish. The enemy T71 looking like he has quite a big gun there. Deciding to drive up, and I'll shoot him just like I was shooting that Tiger 2. Get off 3 shots, and not any more than that due to the fact he drove around that corner. Now, like I was saying, that southern position can be a bad idea if the enemy team, or if your team has artillery to the far north. Now, in this case, it's a good idea. Our team not really pushing, actually holding a good number of tanks in the, you know, Foxtrot 3, Golf 3 area. This 3001 kind of just being stupid and sitting out in the open, but hey, I like kills, so kill number 1 for me. And artillery trying to ruin that T29's day, eliminate him from the match. It is 1-1 right now. I have the only kill for my team, and those enemy tanks to the south looking like they might be a problem. Now this 1375 trying to do what a good teammate should, and that is flank around from the rear. He thinks that, you know, he's going to support his southern team's push, and he would be right if I wasn't here to help soften him up a little. The medium tank, which is a Pershing, doing the exact same thing. Again, this is a good coordinated effort from the enemy team, but at the same time, there are tanks that are still waiting for them in the center. A Tiger tank and a T28 prototype, and hell, the Panzer 30 N8 still apparently being alive. Our southern tank force apparently proving to be enough. The AT7 does have quite good armor on its front, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to kill, but me deciding, hey, I'm going to pull that same exact thing they just did, which is I'm going to drive around the corner here. Now, if you didn't know that spot existed, now you do. Pershing, ooh, getting shot in my rear by a few enemy tanks up on the hill. I think it's the 38601H, but the Pershing in a very bad position right here. Flanked on, you know, getting teamed up by 3 of my tanks, well, counting me, of course. And we managed to take him out. Now, the T28 prototype did manage to get himself killed. The Tiger dying shortly after to a T28 prototype. I'm not quite sure where he is, though. Probably somewhere in the center. I mean, obviously somewhere in the center, but not visible to me at this point in time on the minimap. It is 6-4, and I'm not quite sure. Okay, the enemy team has lost 7 tanks, but we only have, well, now they've lost 8 tanks and we only have 7 kills. It's possible enemy artillery has driven off into the water, and that's how they were eliminated from the match. But I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. I wasn't paying enough attention to the kill feed to know exactly how they lost 1 tank that we did not kill. And the enemy team, their northern push, dying very quickly. That T58, that Type 58, not really going to be able to do much except try to get past our team and spot our artillery, or kill our artillery, but finding out very quickly that, hey, it's not a good idea to try and blitz past, you know, 3 heavy tanks, which 2 of them were tier 8s, and I didn't catch the 3rd one. But yeah, not quite his day. That T28 prototype right there, finally. Now knowing where he is. And I've just been driving around in circles this entire match. Well, at least for part of this match. Doing my best to get shots on the enemy side and circle around into advantageous positions, as a scout tank should. T28 prototype getting himself shot up by me right here. I will hit him just again and again and light him on fire and take 1 more shot and watch him burn, baby. Roast and toast him. And there we go. Kill number 3 for me. WZ-131 to the north, as well as a tank destroyer, which is their tier 6, their ARL-39. And the enemy team pretty much having lost this match at this point. You know, 11-6, when our team still has 3 of our tier 8s remaining, and you only have a Type 59 on your team, it's not looking good. So that ARL V39 will kill that KV-1S. So the KV-1S maybe should have been playing a little more cautiously if he didn't want to, you know, die. But yeah, it's his call. Right here, I will try to steal a kill on this 3601, and I will succeed. Yes, I am a bit of a punk like that, but, you know, it's how the game's played. It's okay. In all honesty, during the course of this match, I wasn't thinking, I'm going to steal this kill. It was just, hey, look, I'm reloaded and an enemy tank to shoot at. And, oh, I got the kill was just a bonus. The Type 59 managing to kill our Hellcat, you know, tier 6 vehicles having a very hard time killing that Type 59. However, that T-34 will, you know, be more than a match, as the Type 59 found out. Now, these were 2 matches. I'm debating whether or not to bring you a third T71 match, which wouldn't technically be a back-to-back, it'd be a back-to-back-to-back. But, you know, I might throw 3 matches in one kind of combo commentary. It might happen, and I'll still call it a back-to-back, even though it's not technically right. But I'm not going to do it this time. I've decided against it. But if you like this video, and if you kind of like me doing more compounded replays, well, it doesn't matter if you like them. They're going to happen. It just out of time constraints, especially with mine, okay? So, maybe not necessarily with viewer submitted replays, but with my replays, expect to see more back-to-backs. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you've got a replay, check the descriptions on how to submit it. There's a video link right there. Happy tanking, my tankers, and this is Spang, signing off.